مستغفرا منيبا مقرا مذعنا معترفا لا أجد مفرا مما كان مني ولا مفزعا أتوجه إليه في أمري غير قبولك عذري وإدخالك إياي في سعة من رحمتك اللهم فاقبل عذري وارحم شدة ضري وفكني من شد وثاقي يا رب ارحم ضعف بدني ورقة جلدي ودقة عزمي يا من بدا خلقي وذكري وتربيتي وبري وتغذيتي هبني لابتداء كرمك وسالف برك بي يا إلهي وسيدي وربي أتراك معذبي بنارك بعد توحيدك وبعد من طوى عليه قلبي من معرفتك ولهج به لساني من ذكرك واعتقده ضميري من حبك وبعد صدق اعترافي ودعائي خاضعا لربوبيتك هيهات أنت أكرم من أن تضيع من ربيت أو تبعد من أدنيت أو تشرد من آويت أو تسلم إلى البلاء من كفيته ورحمت وليت شعري يا سيدي وإلهي ومولاي أتسلط النار على وجوه خرت لعظمتك ساجدا وعلى ألسن نطقت بتوحيدك صادقا وبشكرك ماضحا وعلى قلوب اعترفت بإلهيتك محققا وعلى ضمائر حوت من العلم بك حتى صارت خاشعا وعلى جوارح سعت إلى أوطان تعبدك طائعا وأشارت باستغفارك مذعنا ما هكذا الظن بك ولا أخبرنا بفضلك عنك يا كريم يا رب وأنت تعلم ضعفي عن قليل من بلاء الدنيا وعقوباتها وما يجري فيها من المكاره على أهلها على أن ذلك بلاء ومكروه قليل مكثوه يسير بقاؤه قصير مدته فكيف احتمالي لبلاء الآخرة وجليل وقوع المكاره فيها وهو بلاء تطول مدته ويدوم مقامه ولا يخفف عن أهله لأنه لا يكون إلا عن غضبك وانتقامك وسخطك وهذا ما لا تقوم له السماوات والأرض يا سيدي فكيف بي وأنا عبدك الضعيف الذليل الحقير المسكين المستكين يا إلهي وربي وسيدي ومولاي لأي الأمور إليك أشكو ولما منها أضج وأبكي لأليم العذاب والشدة أم لطول البلاء ومدته فلئن صيرتني للعقوبات مع أعدائك وجمعت بيني وبين أهل بلائك وفرقت بيني وبين أحبائك وأوليائك فهبني يا إلهي وسيدي ومولاي وربي. صبرت على عذابك فكيف أصبر على فراقك، وهبني صبرت على حر نارك فكيف أصبر عن النظر إلى كرامتك. أم كيف أسكن في النار ورجائي عفوك، فبعزتك يا سيدي ومولاي أقسم صادقا لئن تركتني ناطقا لأضجن إليك بين أهلها ضجيج الآملين، ولأصرخن إليك صراخ المستصرخين، ولأبكين عليك بكاء الفاقدين، ولأنادينك أين كنت يا ولي المؤمنين، يا غاية آمال العارفين، يا غياث المستغيثين، يا حبيب قلوب الصادقين، ويا إله العالمين. أفتراك سبحانك يا إلهي وبحمدك تسمع فيها صوت عبد مسلم سجن فيها بمخالفته، وذاق طعم عذابها بمعصيته، وحبس بين أدباقها بجرمه وجريرته، وهو يضج إليك ضجيج مؤمل لرحمتك، ويناديك بلسان أهل توحيدك، ويتوسل إليك بربوبيتك. يا مولاي فكيف يبقى في العذاب وهو يرجو ما سلف من حلمك؟ أم كيف تؤلمه النار وهو يعمل فضلك ورحمتك؟ أم كيف يحرقه لهيبها وأنت تسمع صوته وترى مكانه؟ أم كيف يشتمل عليه زفيرها وأنت تعلم ضعفا؟ أم كيف يتقلقل بين أدباقها وأنت تعلم صدقا؟ أم كيف تزجره زبانيتها وهو يناديك يا ربا؟ أم كيف يرجو فضلك في عتقه منها فتتركه فيها؟ هيهات ما ذلك الظن بك ولا المعروف من فضلك ولا مشبه لما عاملت به الموحدين من برك وإحسانك. فباليقين أقطع لولا ما حكمت به من تعذيب جاحدك وقضيت به من إخلاد معاندك لجعلت النار كلها بردا وسلاما، وما كان لأحد فيها مقرا ولا مقاما، لكنك تقدست أسماؤك أقسمت أن تملها من الكافرين من الجنة والناس أجمعين، وأن تخلد فيها المعاندين، وأنت جل ثناؤك قلت مبتدئا وتطولت بالإنعام متكرما. أفمن كان مؤمنا كمن كان فاسقا لا يستوون. إلهي وسيدي فأسألك بالقدرة التي قدرتها وبالقضية التي حتمتها وحكمتها وغلبت من عليه أجريتها أن تهب لي في هذه الليلة وفي هذه الساعة كل جرم أجرمته وكل ذنب أذنبته وكل قبيح أسررته وكل جهل عملته كتمته أو أعلنته أخفيته أو أزهرته وكل سيئة أمرت بإثباتها الكرام الكاتبين الذين وكلتهم بحفظ ما يكون مني وجعلتهم شهودا علي مع جوارحي وكنت أنت الرقيب علي من ورائهم والشاهد لما خفي عنهم وبرحمتك أخفيت وبفضلك سترت وأن توفر حظي من كل خير تنزله أو إحسان تفضله أو بر تنشره أو رزق تبسطه أو ذنب تغفره أو خطأ تستره يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا إلهي وسيدي ومولاي ومالك رقي يا من بيده ناصيتي يا عليما بضري ومسكنتي يا خبيرا بفقري وفاقتي يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا ربي يا ربي يا رب أسألك بحقك وقدسك وأعظم صفاتك وأسمائك أن تجعل أوقاتي في الليل والنهار بذكرك معمورا وبخدمتك موصولا وأعمالي عندك مقبولا حتى تكون أعمالي وأورادي كلها وردا واحدا وحالي في خدمتك سرمدا يا سيدي يا من عليه معولي يا من إليه شكوت أحوالي يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا ربي يا ربي يا رب قوم على خدمتك جوارحي واشدد على العزيمة جوانحي وهب لي الجد في خشيتك والدوام في الاتصال بخدمتك حتى أسرح إليك في ميادين السابقين وأسرع إليك في المبادرين وأشتاق إلى قربك في المشتاقين وأدنو منك دنو المخلصين وأخافك مخافة الموقنين واجتمع في جوارك مع المؤمنين اللهم ومن أرادني بسوء فأرده ومن كادني فكده واجعلني من أحسن عبيدك نصيبا عندك وأقربهم منزلة منك وأخصهم زلفة لديك فإنه لا ينال ذلك إلا بفضلك وجد لي بجودك واعطف علي بمجدك واحفظني برحمتك واجعل لساني بذكرك لهجا وقلبي بحبك متيما ومن علي بحسن إجابتك وقلني أثرتي واغفر زلتي فإنك قضيت على عبادك بعبادتك وأمرتهم بدعائك وضمنت لهم الإجابة فإليك يا رب نسبت وجهي وإليك يا رب مددت يدي فبعزتك استجب لي دعائي وبلغني مناي ولا تقطع من فضلك رجائي واكفني شر الجن والإنس من أعدائي يا سريع الرضا يا سريع الرضا يا سريع الرضا اغفر لمن لا يملك إلا الدعاء فإنك فعال لما تشاء يا من اسمه دواء وذكره شفاء وطاعته غنى ارحم من رأس ماله الرجاء وسلاحه البكاء يا سابغ النعم يا دافع النقام يا نور المستوحشين في الظلام يا عالما لا يعلم صل على محمد وآل محمد وافعل بما أنت أهله وصلى الله على رسوله والأئمة الميامين من آله وسلم تسليما كثيرا رحم الله من يقرأ سورة الفاتحة.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين خاتم النبيين بالقاسم محمد صل على محمد وآله وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. اللهم صل. أما بعد فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى وقوله الحق وهو أصدق القائلين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الرسول بلغ ما أنزل إليك من ربك فإن لم تفعل فما بلغت الرسالة والله يعصمك من الناس إن الله لا يهدي القوم الكافرين. صلوات على محمد وآل محمد. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Tonight is the Shabe of Eid al-Ghadeer. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring joy and happiness to all of you and make us all amongst the mutamassikina bi wilayat Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wassalam. Allahumma salli. Inshallah, tomorrow is the 18th of Dhul Hijjah, and tomorrow's fast amongst the amal for the 18th of Dhul Hijjah is the fast of that day. It is highly recommended, equal to 60 months of fasting and many other merits that are associated with it. If it's possible for you, or no, these are very long days of summer, and fasting might be for 18 hours, 17 hours, but nonetheless, if you can, it's mustahab to go ahead and fast tomorrow. For those who have qada on their neck, for example, they missed fast this past Ramadan, they cannot make the niyat of mustahab. They'll have to make the niyat of wajib to fulfill their wajib fast. And of course, they'll get the thawab of the mustahab fast of 18th of Dhul Hijjah. So therefore, inshallah, tomorrow we will have the amal of the day of Ghadeer. Usually the amal are done before Dhuhr, but tomorrow being Friday, we've scheduled amal after Salatul Jumah. They're recommended, they're mustahab anyway, so that many more people can be accommodated, because obviously it's a working day. People come for Salatul Jum'ah. Inshallah, after Salatul Jum'ah is done, we will have the amal tomorrow on the day of Ghadeer. And likewise, on Saturday, we will celebrate the grand gestion of Eid al-Ghadeer. Inshallah, program will start at 6 p.m. And program will conclude and at the time of Maghriban, inshallah. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So inshallah, tonight, tomorrow, and Saturday, you'll hear me continuously talk about this event, continuously talk about the merits of this day and the wilayat of Amirul Mu'mineen and the dalail and the proofs and the evidences, and of course the lessons and what is our duty. Should we just keep on defending that it was the announcement for the wilayat of Amirul Mu'mineen, or should we go past that we're done defending this, we're done explaining it to people that what Rasulullah did on the day of Ghadeer, on 18th of Dhul Hijjah, and the Quranic context of that. Inshallah, I'll talk about that tonight. But from tomorrow and the day after, we'll discuss more in light of what is our duty as far as this wilayat is concerned. I recited this ayat number 67 from Surah Ma'idah for you, in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuhar rasul balligh. O the Prophet, O the Rasul, O the Messenger. Rather, the word Rasul refers to messenger. He says, O Messenger, preach what is revealed to you from your Lord. If you will not preach, it would be as though you have not conveyed my message. God protects you from men. He does not guide the unbelieving people. This is the simple translation of this ayat of Balligh. Now, there are many points that we could derive just by looking at the context of revelation, just by looking at some of the words that are used in this ayat. We understand Quran is a miracle. Every ayat is mu'jizah, and therefore every word that is used, there's a purpose behind it. Why did Allah use the word Rasul and not Nabi? In many places in Quran, Allah refers to the Prophet as Ya ayyuhan Nabi. Qul li azwajika, O Prophet, O Nabi, tell your wives. Other places, Rasulullah is referred to with other titles such as Yasin wa Taha, Ya ayyuhal Muzammil, Ya ayyuhal Muddathir. Here, in this particular situation, Allah does not use any of those titles, does not use the concept of the title of Nubuwwat for him, does not use his name, Ya ayyuhal Muhammad, for example. No, doesn't use any of those things, rather refers to him with his mansab of risalat. That yes, the thing that stands out in you, O Prophet, is that you are a Rasul. Rasul being that highest level where Nabi refers to all of the Anbiya, but not every Nabi is Rasul. But all those who are considered to be Rasul, the messengers, they are also Anbiya and they're also Nabi. The difference, inshallah, we'll explain at another time between Nabi and Rasul. Nabi the one who brings the news. Rasul is someone who sahib shari'at. Rasul is someone who brings a doctrine, and therefore we refer to Prophet of Islam as Rasul. Here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he gave Prophet this risalat at the age of 40, keep in mind, Prophet was born a prophet, he was born a Nabi, but he was Nabi for the first 40 years of his life. At the age of 40, when he receives the first revelation, he becomes what? He's also a Rasul, a messenger, to go ahead and deliver the message that he has been sent to go ahead and deliver. So that title of Risalat is above that, and hence Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he speaks to him from his rank, his mansab of Risalat, that you are now a Rasul. Therefore, I'm addressing you as a Rasul. Why? Because this is an official assignment. This is not something which is recommended. This is not something which you may or may not do. This is not something which is related to your wives. This is not something which is related to your family. Rather, this is something which is for Ammatul Muslimin, Ya Ayyuhar Rasul. And then the second word that we must pay attention to is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could have used the word Ya Ayyuhar Rasul, Abligh ma unzila ilayka. Those who understand Arabic, they know the word balagha, when it goes into thulathi mujarrad, balagha yablughu, abligh, you can have the fi'l amr from it, right? Which means what? Go ahead and convey. Abligh means to go ahead and take it somewhere. Abligh, kisi cheez ko kahin pahunchana, to convey it, to take it somewhere. Allah could have easily used the word abligh over there. Why did he use the conjugative, bringing it into bab taf'il? Ballagha yuballighu tabligh. Ya ayyuhar Rasul, balligh. There's a difference between the two words. Abligh would simply mean convey. Balligh is with authority. Convey and continue to do that. Why? There's tadrij in it. There is concept of, gradually instilling this concept. You have the two words for the revelation of Quran. Anzala and nazzala, right? Anzala is the instantaneous revelation of Quran. Nazzala is the gradual, nuzul of Quran. The two words are used for Quran revelation as well. Similarly, over here, Allah could have easily said, Ya ayyuhar Rasul, abligh. Rather, he used the word what? Ya ayyuhar Rasul, balligh, which shows you the fact that he used balligh, which denotes the fact that it is an official and a definite, command from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it's not something to be taken lightly. Ma unzila ilayka min rabbik. This ma also requires an in-depth analysis. That which has been revealed unto you. Ma unzila ilayka. What has been revealed unto the Prophet? This word ma, which is in Arabic known as, it is a noun over here. My mausul, for example, it is referring to something that, it's a pronoun towards something, that which was revealed. The word ma refers to that. Ma means that. O Prophet, explain that which has been revealed unto you. So now, what has been revealed unto the Prophet? That could refer to the entire Quran. That could refer to a specific thing. This is where a lot of the mufassirin, they got lost. They started explaining the word ma, and they lost the actual understanding of it. When was it revealed? Look at the context of revelation. Some people thought this ma refers to the concept of Tawheed. O Prophet, tell people about Tawheed, the most important thing. O Prophet, tell people about Nubuwwat, the most important thing. O Prophet, tell people about Qayamat, the most important thing. Better yet, O Prophet, tell people about Salat, Saum, Hajj, Zakat, Qums, Jihad, Amr bil Maruf, Nahi anil Munkar. They started giving these explanations that the word ma could refer to anything, could refer to any one of those things. But not understanding the fact that the word ma over here has to refer to something specific. Why? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala later on in this ayah says, وَإِن لَمْ تَفْعَلْ فَمَا بَلَّغْتَ رِسَالَتَهُ. If you do not convey this particular message, it is as if you have not conveyed anything thus far, meaning something has already been conveyed. So if you look at the history, one of the features that you find of this surah, Surah Ma'idah, is that it is one of the last surahs that was revealed unto the Prophet. Meaning on the later half of his life, towards the end of his life. That's when this surah is being revealed. Now, when this surah is being revealed at the later part of Prophet's life, you understand that not all ayat were revealed together. This is one of the lengthy surahs. And this particular ayat number 67 was revealed towards the end, which also denotes the fact that it is referring to something specific. Could not be the usul ad-din, could not be the furu ad-din, has to be part of usul and furu, but something specific. Why? Because Rasulullah has already conveyed Tawheed in his years when he was in Makkah. Rasulullah has already announced that I am the Nabi. Why would he announce that I am the Nabi at the end of his life? He's already explained about Qayamat. The Ma'ad will take place numerous times. Muslimin have been praying for many years already. They've already been fasting. They've already gone to jihad, so they know the obligation of jihad. They've already given zakat. In fact, zakat was there even before the migration. So all of these ahkamat are already installed and people are practicing that. So for example, if today someone comes and they already know how to pray, I teach them how to pray. Does that make sense? No, it's good to teach them how to pray, Maulana, because, prayer is something that you pray every single day. It's not something that you forget. You might teach them some other akhlaqiyat. You might repeat some of the ahkam of salat. You might repeat some of the wajibat and the mustahabat of salat, but you don't teach the actual salat again to the person who already knows how to pray. You already know how to pray. You know how to face qibla. You know to put turba in front of you. You know how to do takbiratul ihram. You know all of the wajibat of salat. I don't really need to preach you the salat again. What I may need to teach you, for example, is what is mustahab and what is not. What is, mubah, what is makruh, what might make your salat invalid. Yeah, you might need to know those things. But to teach you the actual salat over again makes no sense. So for Rasulullah to go ahead and tell about Tawheed and Adalat and Nubuwwat and Qayamat and Namaz and Roza and Hajj, Zakat and Khums and all of those things, the word ma over here doesn't refer to those. And then, Wallahu ya'asimuka minan nas. That part itself is, explaining a lot of things. That Allah will protect you from men. Why? Does that mean Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was not protecting Prophet before that? Of course he was. Rasulullah lived his life amongst the mushrikeen of Makkah. He broke their idols. Allah never once said to them that I will protect you. Why? The protection was there. It was through the protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Prophet did not see any, harm come to him. When they plotted to kill Rasulullah, Allah informed Prophet, this is what their plot is, they want to kill you. When they wanted to drop a big boulder on Prophet, Allah informed Prophet, he moved away from there. When they wanted to plot and kill him by ambushing him, a lightning came and Rasulullah saw the faces of those people who were hiding to go ahead and attack him. When someone wanted to strike with the sword to Rasulullah, his hands froze. The Tariq mentions. So Allah protected Prophet. These are not normal means. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used these means to protect his Prophet all these years. Now he's saying specifically, convey this message. He never said it before. Why does he need to convey now? In fact, before it was needed more. Why? He was amongst the enemies. He was living amongst the kuffar and mushrikeen of Makkah and the idol worshippers. They were sworn enemy of Rasulullah. If he was in danger from anyone, he was in danger from them. Who is he amongst now? He's amongst hundreds and thousands of Muslims. He's amongst his companions. He's amongst those people who believe in his nubuwwat and risalat. Those who have recited his kalima. Then why does Allah need to say, Wallahu ya'asimuka minan nas? Allah will protect you from the people. So we see that this verse was revealed at a place of Ghadeer Khum upon returning from Hajj. This verse is situated between the two ayat. Meticulously, ayat number 66 and 68. Go read ayat 66 and 68. Between these two ayat, you find ayat 67, so ayat Balligh of Surah Ma'idah. Because ayat 68 and 66, maybe it means that there's a strong relationship between a divine leader and the divine books. What do the first two ayat, what does ayat 66 and 68 talk about? Ayat 66 and 68 talk about the divine books and talks about Ahlul Kitab. Divine books, Injil and Torah that was revealed unto them, talks about those books. So it shows that there's a strong relationship between a divine leader and the divine books. Imam has knowledge of these divine scriptures, and all these books are a testimony for their Imam. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So all of the Mufassirin of Shia, they unanimously talk about that this ayat was revealed at Hajjatul Wida upon returning at that place which is still there, known as Ghadeer Khum. Now, many of the Sunni school of thought, their Mufassirin, they also consider that this was in conjunction with the event of the announcement of the Wilayat of Amirul Mu'mineen. So you can refer to Tafsir Kabir Fakhr Razi, you can refer to Tafsir Al-Manar. Both of them talk about the event under this ayat of Ghadeer Khum. So these are two references for you from the Sunni books. It is amazing though that the author of Tafsir Al-Manar narrates this hadith from the following sources, all Sunni sources: Musnad Ahmad, Sunan al-Tirmidhi, Sunan al-Nasa'i, and Ibn Majah. These are four of the six Sihah Sitta, the most trusted books of Ahl Sunnah. Four of these six books talk about this, and Tafsir Al-Manar narrates from these books. Of course, Tafsir Al-Manar, the author is after these books were written, so he's going to reference something. Who does he reference? He references Musnad Ahmad ibn Hanbal, Sunan Majah, Sunan Tirmizi, and Ibn Majah, Nasai, and Tirmizi. What was the word? Man kuntu mawla fa'aliyun mawla. These were the words that they narrate in the Sahih references. But then he confuses himself with two sentences. So when you go and look for Tafsir Al-Manar, if you have it or if you find it online, you find this, that he does narrate. He narrates it quoting these books. But then he confuses himself with two sentences. Number one, he says that the word wilayat means friendship. And therefore, when Rasulullah said, Man kuntu mawla fa'aliyun mawla, Rasulullah is merely referring to the fact that Ali is his friend, heedless of the fact that friendship doesn't require paying allegiance. If someone is announcing the friendship to someone, do they say, he's my friend, now pay allegiance to him? No. You announce someone's friendship, you don't need to do bay'at in the hand of that individual. While we all know that there was a bay'at that was done. In fact, who mentions this? If you read towards the tafsir, one of the tafsir of Ahl Sunnah, inshallah I'll quote towards the end, he mentions how that, this is Imam Ghazali. Imam Ghazali mentions in his book, which is called the Sirr al-Alamin, he says this, that when Rasulullah announced it, Umar al-Khattab came to Amirul Mu'mineen and he said this, Bakhin, Bakhin, Ya Abul Hasan, laqad asbahta mawlaya wa mawla kulli mu'minin wa mu'minatin. That Bakhin, Bakhin, congratulations, congratulations, O Abul Hasan, father of Hasan, laqad asbahta, indeed you became my mawla, and you became the mawla of all the mu'mineen and mu'minat. And so there was a bay'at that was done. There's no bay'at needed if you're announcing that this person is my friend. There's no congratulations needed when you're announcing that this is my friend. There's no preparation needed. Rasulullah, and in fact, shouldn't this scholar of great understanding consider this, that Ali had always been the right hand of Rasulullah in all the battles. Ali is already son-in-law of Rasulullah. Ali is the most closely related person to Rasulullah as far as his cousin, cousinship. He's the cousin of Rasulullah. So does he really need to tell people that he is my friend? If I'm hanging out with you, do I really need to go ahead and announce it to the people? This person is my friend, by the way. No, you already know that this person is hanging out with me. And the fact that I'm hanging out with this person for many years leads you to believe that they are friends together. There's no animosity between the two. Why would Rasulullah need to say? That's number one. Number two, he criticizes by saying that if Ali was appointed by a prophet as his successor, then why didn't he later object and remind people of this event? So when his apparent wilayat was taken away from him, wilayat was not taken away, khilafat was installed. So he said when that happened, when it was haq, it was his haq and it was his right to rule, when they took it away from him, why didn't he protest? Why didn't he come out saying to the first Khalifa, to the second Khalifa, to the third Khalifa, oh, look, this is my right, what are you doing? Why are you sitting on the Masjid of Rasulullah while it is my haq? Well, Ali never did that. That means this was not Ali's anyway to begin with. Heedless of the fact that Imam Ali had repeatedly complained and questioned those who deposed him of his position. There are khutabat of Nahjul Balagha where Imam is mentioning, did you forget what happened in Ghadeer Khum? In fact, Imam recited this ayat by saying, يَعْرِفُونَ نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ ثُمَّ يُنْكِرُونَهَا وَأَكْثَرُهُمُ الْكَافِرُونَ Surah Nahl, ayat number 83, that they understand and they do the i'tiraf and they acknowledge the ni'mat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then they deny the ni'mat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the wilayat of Amirul Mu'mineen is one of the biggest of the ni'mat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Therefore, يَعْرَفُونَ يَوْمَ غَدِيرٍ ثُمَّ يُنْكِرُونَهَا يَوْمَ ثَقِيفًا. They acknowledged, Bakhin, Ya Ali, لَقَدْ أَصْبَحْتَ مَوْلَايَ وَمَوْلَى كُلِّ مُؤْمِنٍ وَمُؤْمِنَةٍ فِي يَوْمِ غَدِيرٍ, and then they denied it later on. So both of his claims, Tafsir al-Manar, while he mentions the story, he mentions the riwayat, he contradicts himself. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So as I said, there are a few points in this verse that highlight this, how the surah was revealed towards the later part of Prophet's life, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not address Prophet as Ya Ayyuhan Nabi, instead he spoke to him as Ya Ayyuhar Rasul, how instead of using Abligh, Rasul, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used the word Balligh. Prophet is warned if he fails to fulfill this duty. Imagine, you're working in a company, and of course, Tashbih bila mushabbah. You're working in a company and you've become a CEO of the company, right? You're the right hand. Above you is the owner, and then it's you. I guess that's how it works. I don't know. Forgive me if I'm making... But anyway, you're the first person after the owner. You're the CEO of the company. Now, you've been working in this company for 23 years. Let's just keep the same example. And then the big boss comes and says, this thing has to be launched this year. If you don't launch it this year, you're fired. He may say that. It is possible. He's within his right to go ahead and say that. But the person who built this empire for you, brought it to this height, of course they're going to go ahead and do that. And then if you are all merciful, I guess if you understand that the boss was one of those bosses who doesn't like his employees, that would be another story. But this boss is someone who's beloved. This boss is someone who's compassionate, merciful, and he's speaking to his most beloved creation. That is our Prophet. That is his mahbub, right? He speaks about it when it says in the ayat of Quran, yuhbibkumullah, talking about that whoever loves Rasulullah loves Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Love of Prophet is the love of Rasulullah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when you have a boss who's so compassionate and merciful, you think they're going to go ahead and say, Prophet, if you do not say this, if you fail to do this duty today, as if you have not done anything at all. This shows you the height and the importance of the subject. It's not that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would have deposed Prophet of his position had he not conveyed this message. But he's explaining it to him that how important this is. Prophet isn't scared of his life, since in the early days he would fight idols and the idol worshippers alone. In battles, he would be the one people would come and find refuge in. Amirul Mu'mineen mentions that in many of the battles, when there was this fear, people, Amirul Mu'mineen includes himself, we would come and find refuge in Rasulullah, because Rasulullah provided that comfort to us. You know how when a child is battered around and then eventually he sees his mother, and then he comes to his mother and then he finds that comfort and then he finds that refuge in him. Someone whom he can relate to, for example. So we see that Rasulullah isn't afraid of any of these things. This message isn't related to Tawheed, isn't related to Nubuwwat, isn't related to Ma'ad, since these principles were addressed in their early days of Islam. This message isn't related to Salat, Saum, Hajj, Zakat, Khums, or Jihad, since all of them have been addressed in the last 23 years of the life of the Prophet and people were practicing. And now, let me rephrase. What did I just say? I said this message isn't related to Tawheed, Nubuwwat, Qayamat. I said this message isn't related to Namaz, Hajj, Roza, Zakat, Khums, all of those things, right? Let me repeat. This message is related to all of these things. This message is related to Tawheed, Nubuwwat, and Qayamat. This message is related to Salat, up ila, all the way to Amr bil Maruf, and Tawalla and Tabarra. Why? Riwayat of Imam Muhammad Baqir alayhi salatu wasalam says, Bunay al-Islamu ala khams, as-salat, wal-zakat, wal-sawm, wal-hajj, wal-walaya, walam yunada bi-shay'in, kama nudiya bil-walayati, fa-akhadha an-nathu bi-arba'a, wa taraku hadhihi. He says that the Islam is established on 5 things. Last one is the walayat, and walayat is something upon which the entire building is situated upon. Therefore, while this message was not related to any of those, this message is integral to the importance and the support and the existence of all the other things that Rasulullah had brought in his life for the sake of this Islam. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And let me conclude, inshallah, we'll do the ziyarat before namaz, that in the battle of Uhud, those who doubt on the word of Mawla. As I said, inshallah, you'll hear Ghadeer tonight, you'll hear Ghadeer tomorrow, you'll hear Ghadeer, inshallah, on Saturday. And we'll talk more about it. Those who doubt on the word of Mawla. Just one hadith and one ayat of Quran to respond to that. In the battle of Uhud, the kuffar said, Inna lana uzza wa la uzza lakum. That we have Uzza. Uzza was one of their idols. And there's no Uzza for you. The Mu'mineen came to Prophet, said, say this back to them. Allahu Maulana wa la Mawla lakum. Allah is our Mawla, and you don't have any Mawla. Therefore, we understand that wherever the word Mawla is used, it is used in front of Uzza. And anyone who contradicts in the Risalat and the Nubuwwat and in the Wilayat of Ali ibn Abi Talib and comes in front of the word Mawla, it is as if that person is the follower of Uzza. Therefore, we see that the ayat of Quran also talked about it when the ayat says in regards to this, ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّ اللَّهَ مَوْلَى الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَأَنَّ الْكَافِرِينَ لَا مَوْلَى لَهُمْ. Ayat number 11 of Surah Muhammad. Keep this ayat in mind. What does the word Mawla in this ayat refer to? It says, God is the guardian of the believers, not the friend. Allah is not the friend of the believers. God is the guardian of the believers, but the disbelievers have no guardian. So whoever refers to Ali in Man kuntu Mawla fa Aliyun Mawla as the guardian, then of course they have Ali as their guardian. But of course whoever does not, according to this ayat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not even consider them to be amongst those who are mu'mineen. We ask Allah, Ya Ali. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the tawfiq and ability to continue to be amongst the mutamassikeen of the wilayat of Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wassalam. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to hasten the reappearance of our weighted Imam and make us amongst the helpers and the soldiers of Imam. Wa akhiru da'wana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Allahumma salli. 8 minutes. Inshallah, we'll do the ziyarah.
السلام عليك يا نبي الله، السلام عليك يا رسول الله، وعلى ابن عمك أمير المؤمنين، وعلى ابنتك فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين، وعلى ولديك الحسن والحسين سيدي شباب أهل الجنة، وعلى 9 المعصومين من ذرية الحسين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا وارث آدم صفوة الله، السلام عليك يا وارث نوح نبي الله، السلام عليك يا وارث إبراهيم خليل الله، السلام عليك يا وارث موسى كليم الله، السلام عليك يا وارث عيسى روح الله، السلام عليك يا وارث محمد حبيب الله، السلام عليك يا وارث أمير المؤمنين ولي الله، السلام عليك يا ابن محمد المصطفى، السلام عليك يا ابن علي المرتضى، السلام عليك يا ابن فاطمة الزهراء، السلام عليك يا ابن خديجة الكبرى، السلام عليك يا ثار الله وابن ثاره والوتر الموتور. أشهد أنك قد أقمت الصلاة وآتيت الزكاة وأمرت بالمعروف ونهيت عن المنكر وأطعت الله رسوله حتى أتاك اليقين. فلعن الله أمة قتلتك، ولعن الله أمة ظلمتك، ولعن الله أمة سمعت بذلك فرضيت به. يا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله، أشهد أنك كنت نورا في الأصلاب الشامخة والأرحام المطهرة، لم تنجسك الجاهلية بأنجاسها، ولم تلبسك من ملهمات ثيابها. وأشهد أنك من دعائم الدين وأركان المؤمنين، وأشهد أنك الإمام البر التقي الرزي الزكي الهادي المهدي، وأشهد أن الأئمة من ولدك كلمة التقوى وأعلام الهدى والعروة الوثقى والحجة على أهل الدنيا. وأشهد الله وملائكته وأنبياءه ورسله أني بكم مؤمن وبإيابكم موقن، بشرائع ديني وخواتيم عملي، وقلبي لقلبكم سلم، وأمري لأمركم متبع. صلوات الله عليكم وعلى أرواحكم وعلى أجسادكم وعلى أجسامكم وعلى شاهدكم وعلى غائبكم وعلى ظاهركم وعلى باطنكم. السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله، السلام عليك يا ابن نبي الله، السلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين، السلام عليك يا ابن الحسين الشهيد، السلام عليك أيها الشهيد وابن الشهيد، السلام عليك أيها المظلوم وابن المظلوم. لعن الله أمة قتلتك، ولعن الله أمة ظلمتك، ولعن الله أمة سمعت بذلك فرضيت به. السلام عليكم يا أولياء الله وأحباه، السلام عليكم يا أصفياء الله ووداه، السلام عليكم يا أنصار دين الله، السلام عليكم يا أنصار رسول الله، السلام عليكم يا أنصار أمير المؤمنين، السلام عليكم يا أنصار فاطمة سيدة نساء العالمين، السلام عليكم يا أنصار أبي محمد الحسن بن العلي الولي الناصح، السلام عليكم يا أنصار أبي عبد الله بأبي أنتم وأمي طبتم وطابت الأرض التي فيها دفنتم وفزتم فوزا عظيما فيا ليتني كنت معكم فأفوز معكم. السلام عليك يا أبا الفضل العباس ابن أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليك يا ابن سيد الوسيين. السلام عليك يا ابن أول القوم إسلاما وأقدمهم إيمانا وأقومهم بدين الله وأحوطهم على الإسلام. أشهد لقد نصحت لله ولرسوله ولأخيك فنعم الأخ المواسي. فلعن الله أمة قتلتك ولعن الله أمة ظلمتك ولعن الله أمة استحلت منك المحارم وانتهكت حرمة الإسلام. فنعم الصابر المجاهد المحامي الناصر والأخ الدافع عن أخيه المجيب إلى طاعة ربه الراغب فيما زهد فيه غيره من الثواب الجزيل والثناء الجميل. وألحقكم الله بدرجة آبائك في جنات النعيم. السلام عليك يا غريب الغرباء. السلام عليك يا معين الضعفاء والفقراء. السلام عليك يا شمس الشموس وأنيس النفوس أيها المدفون بأرض التوس. السلام عليك يا علي بن موسى رضا ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا صاحب العصر والزمان. السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن. السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن. السلام عليك يا إمام زماننا عجل الله تعالى فرجه وسهل الله مخرجه وجعلنا من أنصارك وانك. السلام عليك ورحمة الله وبركاته. اللهم صل